Guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be updating you on some more current transfer rumours. Now, reportedly now, this is regarding Mesut Ozil from Arsenal, because we know that he's coming to an end of his deal, and we know that Manchester United and Barcelona have been heavily linked with the player, and Barcelona are just using him basically as an alternative, basically, and for Philip Coutinho, because they're weighing up quite a few options at Barcelona, in case they fail with the pursuit of Philip Coutinho as well. So reportedly in the press now, Ozil does report he has not agreed a deal to join Manchester United whatsoever. He did say, Man United were keen on, would prefer to let him see out his contract, and get him on a free transfer in the summer rather than go for him in January. I think he had been given permission, to leave Arsenal in January, a couple of weeks ago, and he could be available for around 20-30 million pound in January as well. As other reports, well, quite a while back, Ozil's agent had confirmed that the contract talks are going in the right direction. We know that the contract talks has stalled for quite a while. We know there were speculation, there were allegedly, reportedly it was saying that Ozil, reportedly the other week, was close to agreeing a new deal with Arsenal. I think they'd had more talks and contract talks going in the right direction. It says Ozil were close to agreeing a new deal because there'd been talks between Ozil's representatives and Arsenal Football Club, but he's yet to sign a new deal. Reportedly, he has been demanding a higher wage package of like £300,000 worth of wages, as well as Mesut Ozil as well, and he's also saying he prefers now the move to Barcelona because he's also got experience of being in Spain, and he's holding out on a decision from Barcelona, as well as Mesut Ozil. But obviously, as I've been confirmed quite a while back, that Ozil and Sanchez will not be sold in the January window. As we all know, they will not be sold in the January window. They've also asked, they've got Jack Wilshere coming to an end of his deal as well. Jose Mourinho is keen on Mesut Ozil, if they worked fantastic together at Real Madrid, but Messi from Barcelona does want Coutinho over Mesut Ozil at Barcelona, as we all currently know. And Mesut Ozil's got a record of assists. He's fantastic at creating chances. Since he's been in the Premier League, he has made over a century appearances as Mesut Ozil, as we all currently know. And as I said, Mourinho used to work with him, so Mourinho's probably keen on reuniting with the player. Also experienced of being in Germany. He was in Germany for 5 years, as well was Mesut Ozil, so he's got so much experience. He's up the ranks with Schalke, Mesut Ozil. And Jose Mourinho says he's a very good number 10. He's Mesut Ozil, but a very good player. He's Mesut Ozil. I do really like him. He'd be good at Manchester United because obviously, we've got a few players contending the deals. We've got Carrick that's going to an halt of his career. We've got Mkhitaryan that's been out of form recently. And Mourinho's been dropped him. We've got Manning Fellaini there, who we could lose on a free in the summer because we're not prepared to cash in for in January. So Mourinho is looking to strengthen up the team. And, it says basically we have to sell before we can buy. And Jose Mourinho's had discussions with Ed Woodward, about plans for the January window. We're going to be getting around an £80 million spending spree, as well as it's said in the current process work there, guys. In the current process, but Ozil very good. I like him at Manchester United, to be quite fair. But it did come out. It has come out in the press, before that Ozil reportedly agreed a contract to join Barcelona. He said he had agreed to join Barcelona, Mesut Ozil. But as I said, Arsenal, if they are to get, if he is to go and he doesn't sign a new deal, Arsenal would rather cash in for him, rather than let him go on the three in the summer as well. But obviously, Arsenal are also, weighing up replacements for the likes of Ozil and Alexis Sanchez, and it did actually come out in the press yesterday. It was about Steven. It was about Steven Nzonzi from Sevilla, reportedly. Steven Nzonzi said yesterday in the press that Arsenal had agreed just over £35 million to get the pursuit of the player. He's also an ex-Tottenham target as well as Steven Nzonzi. It says it was about £32 million that agreed, and there were like £2 million in bonuses. It said in the press about Steven Nzonzi. I think Arsenal have been linked with him during the summer. He is a defensive midfielder, so if Arsenal do get him, they could identify him as a good replacement for Ozil. If Ozil is to leave Arsenal, especially in the January window. But Steven Nzonzi, this is his third season with Sevilla. Reportedly, he's had a fallout with his manager. He's also Premier League proven because he's also been in the Premier League in the past. He's also been, in Liga 2, where he started his career. He then went to Blackburn for about 3 years. Did okay with Blackburn, In 2011-12, he got relegated with Blackburn. Blackburn only paid £500,000 for him, and then, Stoke got him from Blackburn, for I think £3 million, and he was at he was at Stoke for about 2 or 3 years. You know, he did well under Mark Hughes and Tony Pulis, Stephen and Zonzi, and Sevilla then bought him for £7 million, and he does look a decent player, to be quite fair. And he won the Europa League in his first season with Sevilla as well, did Stephen and Zonzi. But reportedly Arsenal have agreed a deal to sign Stephen and Zonzi as well. Also, potentially, that's also been on Arsenal's target is Leon Goretzka. You know, Arsenal probably, you know, identified him as a potential possible, you know, replacement for Ozil and Sanchez, because obviously Leon Goretzka plays defensive mid. He can also play on each wing as well, can Leon Goretzka for Schalke. He's another player, you know, that's coming to an end of his deal. It is unlikely that Leon Goretzka, it is unlikely that Leon Goretzka, you know, actually will be sold in the. It's unlikely that it's unlikely that Leon Goretzka actually will be sold in the January transfer window due to that he's recently suffered an injury, and this could be unlikely that he will be sold in the window. But he's coming to the end of his deal. I think he does want to leave Schalke, because obviously Schalke had offered him a new deal, Leon Goretzka, but he has turned this down. But it did say in the press that Arsenal were closing in on a free transfer for Leon Goretzka. It said Arsenal were closing in on a free transfer for Leon Goretzka as well. It also says that Bayern Munich have been interested. It also says that it's also mentioned that Barcelona have been interested in Leon Goretzka as well. Also mentioned that Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Ozil, Liverpool, says Arsenal as well. There's been quite a few teams interested in the play. You know, Schalke paid £3 or £4 million for him in 2013. So this is his fifth season now with Schalke. He's played over 100 games in the Bundesliga for Schalke, and he is a good young upcoming prospect. Is Leon Goretzka by all means. But as I said, joint top scorer in the Confederations Cup as well, risen up the youth system with Schalke as well, you know, in the reserve team with Schalke. And, you know, he's also an ex-Bochum player as well. But I think, you know, Leon Goretzka is keen on making the move. I don't think the president wants to see, you know, Goretzka leave Schalke. But he is a promising young age talent as well. So I think Manchester United, he'd be good to play for the likes of Fellaini, you know, considering he is still only young as well. He's Leon Goretzka, and, you know, he'd be fantastic. But Arsenal are interested in him as well. And then you've got, who else? And then that's it. So about something else. And then you've got Arsenal, you know, have also got Jack Wilshere, who's coming to an end of his deal. Jack Wilshere has admitted he's unsure about his Arsenal future. He doesn't know where his future is. I'm taking my jump bloody boiling wet. He doesn't know where his Arsenal future lies ahead of him, because especially this season, you know, he has had a lack of game time under Arsene Wenger. I still think that Jack Wilshere loves the club, because he's been there basically the majority of his career as Jack Wilshere, you know, even as a youngster, you know, he was at Arsenal, you know, he's been on loan deals at like Bournemouth and Bolton Wanderers as Jack Wilshere, you know, he made 27 appearances for Bournemouth last season. I think Jack Wilshere were actually injured last season as well, but he has had lack of game time this season for Arsenal, so he's another player coming to the end of his deal. He could go in January as well, and Arsenal may be actually forced, you know, to cash in on all three players in January. I think at least one of them will go if they don't sign a new deal. It's looking likely none of these at the moment are going to sign new deals. I don't know if Arsenal have had talks about trying to secure Jack Wilshere a new deal yet with Arsenal. You know, he began his career with Luton, you know, then he went to Arsenal in 2001. He's been at Arsenal about 16 years, you know, all in all, you know, and he's been in the senior team nearly 10 years as Jack Wilshere as well, you know. He became Arsenal's youngest league debut in 2008. You know, became the youngest player to play in a European competition, and also very, very good in the FA Youth Cup as well. Jack Wilshere, but his combination of his players good. His link-up play is very, very good. So Arsenal could potentially lose him as well. There's been also talks about him as well, and also to Alexis Sanchez. He's another player, you know, that's coming to an end of his deal with Arsenal. You know, Manchester City are heavily linked to him. It's mentioned Paris Saint-Germain, it's mentioned Real Madrid, and he's going to an end of his deal. And reportedly during August, you know, he was demanding a higher wage package as well. Was Alexis Sanchez from Arsenal, but his versatility is very, very good. You know, can play attacking mid, you know, can play on the wing as well. Can Alexis Sanchez, very, very good number 7. Man United have had an interest in him as well, but his effort he puts in, his work rate's very, very good. And I think, you know, Pep Guardiola's keen on reuniting, with Alexis Sanchez. You know, if they were fantastic together at Barcelona. Sanchez was fantastic in his last season with Barcelona, scored 21 goals. And this is his 4th season now with Arsenal, and he's made over a century appearances in the Premier League. Arsenal paid £35 million for the players. Won 3 FA Cups in 4 seasons with us. Also said Paris Saint-Germain are interested. Paris Saint-Germain have approached Sanchez's representatives. But I still think City, you know, can still get a deal over the line. Don't forget Arsenal could have cashed 50-60 million pound in for Alexis Sanchez, you know, as we are aware. But obviously Arsenal couldn't find that replacement for Sanchez. As we all know, we know that there were talks about Sanchez and, you know, Raheem Sterling, as we all know. But Wenger would have gone along with this, you know, but he never materialised due to that City were reluctant and were resisted to offload Raheem Sterling. They resisted and were reluctant to offload Raheem Sterling with Manchester City, because Sterling's been phenomenal this season, especially with Manchester City. You know, City paid £49 million for him from Liverpool, as we all know. He's still got 2 years left on his current deal as Sterling. I think City, you know, actually are prepared to have I think City have had contract talks to try to secure him a new contract, but I think Sterling has actually stalled the contracts himself until the summer, reportedly, as well as Raheem Sterling. But there were talks about that back in August, but it never ever materialised due to that City were not willing to offload Sterling. But Sanchez has been a lot of teams interested in him, and he demanded that he wanted Champions League football. You know, first time in 2 decades Arsenal have not had it. And Sanchez has also had experience of being in Italy with underneath. You know, he's been with River Plate. You know, he's been with Cola as well. You know, made his international debut in 2006 as well. Did Alexis Sanchez is just a quality player. He's Alexis Sanchez. But as I said, Arsenal been, you know, eyeing up replacements, you know, for Alexis Sanchez, as we all currently know in the process. You know, Lamar's been on Arsenal's main priority target was Lamar. They did get Lacazette for £52 million, you know, club record fee for Lacazette, who's done very, very well for them this season. But saying in the process, you know, Arsenal have been identifying replacements. We know that Julian Draxler's been mentioned. We know that Nabil Fekir from Lyon's been mentioned. We know Thomas Lemar's been mentioned. He did say, you know, Arsenal could revive the interest in Thomas Lemar in the January window. I think Arsenal are reluctant to pay up to as much as the £90-odd million they were preparing to pay on transfer deadline day. He's also said Liverpool were interested in right near the end of the window. Liverpool could still revive the interest in Thomas Lemar. And it's also mentioned now reportedly, you know, that Chelsea have reportedly entered the race for Thomas Lemar as well, because obviously Conte's still looking to add depth and character, you know, into his squad. Conte, you know, he spent about over £100 million as Conte, you know, in the August window. But Conte, Chelsea, still looking for someone to partner up with Alvaro Morata, still looking for a midfielder as well, and he's still looking for someone on the left-hand side as well as Conte, you know, so they can keep up the likes of us and Manchester City as well. But basically, Thomas Lemar was our main priority target. Lemar, who played 32 times for Chan Monaco, this is his 3rd season now. Monaco just paid over £3 million. But Monaco were reluctant, whereas this is to offload Thomas Lemar, you know, considering the amount of money, you know, they raised for the departure of their players. Monaco, you know, back in the August window, I think they raised around £300 million. Monaco president did confirm, you know, that Thomas Lemar is likely to leave Monaco in the summer, as we all know, as it said in the press. The president had confirmed he made his international debut also in 2016 as well. You know, he can play. His versatility is very, very good. His dribbling's good. His passing ability is very, very good. He's Thomas Lemar's, and Arsenal had 2 bids rejected for him in August. Liverpool had 2 bids turned down. Liverpool were willing to pay a club record fee for him. Arsenal were willing to pay a club record fee for him, but a deal never materialised. And I think he's still got at least a couple of years left on his contract here with Monaco, as well as Thomas Lemar. But he's a fantastic young age prospect, and you know, very, very good for France as well. But also Arsenal, Liverpool have also eyed Julian Draxler as you know, as well. Arsenal, you know, that's been Arsenal's long-term target as well. Julian Draxler, as we all know. Buddy boiling. Bev, don't you think it's red hot? Turn it off, it's boiling, man. So as I was saying, yeah, so Arsenal's long-term target is Julian Draxler, as we all know. Liverpool reportedly have been in contact with PSG, regarding Julian Draxler as well. And PSG did spend a lot of money, on likes of Neymar and Kylian Mbappe, and that they're structuring the deal for Mbappe. Spent £198 million on Neymar as well, did PSG. And PSG basically, as confirmed, have to sell, basically before they can buy her as well, because due to financial fair play regulations, PSG are a rich club, and Julian Draxler he's not going to be guaranteed first team football week in week out. He's a Julian Draxler considering Cavani's in the mix, Mbappe and Neymar's in the mix for them. Scored about 20 odd goals, was it, in the group stage in the Champions League, and that is a record. And Paris Saint-Germain should be one of the favourites to go on and win the Champions League. And I don't think the PSG have actually ever won it. But Julian Draxler, I think PSG were actually willing to actually sell him. Julian Draxler, I think Julian Draxler I think he's got a 4-year contract with PSG. He signed when he signed in January 2017. PSG have only had him since January, as we all know. But he's an ex-Schalke player, but he risen up the ranks with Schalke, made 171 appearances, scored 30 goals, did well with them. He used to play alongside Klasnic as well, so could they potentially reunite if he goes to Arsenal? He did okay with Wolfsburg, and PSG had paid £42 million for the player. Also voted the best player, in the Confederations Cup. Was Draxler very, very good in Euro 2016. And also was part of the German squad who won the 2014 FIFA World Cup as well, was Julian Draxler. But yeah, very, very good player indeed. Good run edge prospect. Very, very good with both feet. Good in the air. Good at driving forward is Draxler. And PSG, may offload quite a few players, due to financial fair play regulations. We know that PSG did offload. Did they offload one player or two? Was it? I know that they offloaded Serge Aurier as well. Getting boiling in here, man. So yeah, and also potentially another Arsenal target has been Nabil Fekir, that has been mentioned in the press in the last couple of weeks. Nabil Fekir is a Lyon player. He's probably keen on reuniting with Lacazette. Because obviously him and Lacazette as a partnership, would be fantastic. In the Arsenal team. A few Arsenal fans are actually keen on Nabil Fekir. It actually did say in the press a couple of weeks ago that Arsenal were closing in on a £60 million deal for Nabil Fekir, and that would be a club record for if that deal materialised there for Nabil Fekir. Nabil Fekir, can play as I think he can play as a midfielder. He can also play in the front line as well, and he's good at leading the lines. Nabil Fekir, I think he scored 10 goals, 10 assists last season. He got promoted into the Lyon squad in 2013. Well, promoted into the senior team in 2013 as well. Became more of a regular in his second season with Lyon as well, and also has played recently ranked, in the Lyon reserve team as well as Nabil Fekir. And made his international debut in 2015 as well for France. Nabil Fekir, and he's a fantastic goal scorer, good at also providing assists as well. During 2015-16, missed the majority of the season with Lyon, due to injury. But as I said, became more of a regular in his second season. And he's still under contract with Lyon until 2020 as well, is Nabil Fekir. So there being potential. These are the Arsenal targets. Is now Steven Nzonzi, Leon Goretzka, Nabil Fekir has been an Arsenal target, so too Thomas Lemar, so too Julian Draxler. So Arsenal are eyeing up replacements, because obviously Arsene Wenger, in the last couple of years at least, won't be, satisfied with the transfer policy of Arsenal, because they do need to buy into the club, into their club, sorry, if they are going to be title challengers, because they're not good enough to win the league at the moment. As we all know. But yeah, reporting about Mesut Ozil, as I'm saying in the process about Mesut Ozil, reportedly, I think he does now prefer the move to Barcelona. He hasn't agreed any deal to come to Manchester United. He did say actually Ozil was keen on staying in the Premier League back in the press a couple of weeks ago. But we know we're not in the process. He's nowhere near in the process of securing a new deal. So whether he goes in January and he goes to 20-30 million, whether he goes on 3 in the summer, we do not know. But we will find out in January, which is not long away now, what happens with the Mesut Ozil situation. So anyway, that's everything today. Drop your comments, like, below on the channel. If you do consider subscribing, as always, take care. God bless, guys, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye.